Z-20 helicopter. The Z-20 was not entirely new at this parade, but this was one of its largest public showings in different variants, including utility, SAR, and ASW versions. Its closest NATO counterpart is the UH-60 Blackhawk, which China reverse-engineered after importing some in the 1980s. A fun fact is that the Z-20 uses a 5-blade rotor system unlike the Blackhawk's 4, giving it slightly better lift performance at high altitude. Another fact is that it's intended as China's workhorse helicopter across all services, gradually replacing several legacy models. Compared to the UH-60, the Z-20 is broadly similar in size, payload, and role, but Western avionics and engine reliability still give the Blackhawk an edge. Z-10 attack helicopter. The Z-10 had been shown before, but this parade highlighted its ongoing modernization and frontline role. NATO's counterpart is the AH-64 Apache, though the Apache is significantly larger and heavier. A fun fact is that the Z-10 program originally received clandestine technical assistance from Eurocopter before the West pulled back under political pressure. Despite being smaller than the Apache, the Z-10 can still carry modern ATGMS and sensors, making it potent in its weight class. Against the Apache, the Z-10 is lighter, less armored, and likely less survivable, but cheaper and more deployable in large numbers. Z-19 Light Attack/Scout Helicopter. The Z-19 was already known, but its presence in this parade underscored its pairing with Z-10 units. Its NATO counterpart would be the Eurocopter Tiger or the older OH-58 Kiowa Warrior. A fun fact is that the Z-19 is derived from the civilian Z-9 helicopter, itself a license-built French Dauphin. Another fact is that the Z-19 uses a fenestron tail rotor, which makes it quieter and safer at low altitude. Compared to NATO equivalents, the Z-19 is less advanced than the Tiger in terms of avionics and survivability, but it's cheaper and easier to mass produce. Z-20T Multi-Role Helicopter. This was the premier public showing of the Z-20T variant. NATO lacks a direct analog, but conceptually it sits between the UH-60 Blackhawk and the UH-60 Direct Action Penetrator. A fun fact is that it's designed to carry troops while simultaneously providing fire support, a hybrid role uncommon in NATO doctrine. The addition of advanced sensors makes it capable of guiding its own missiles rather than relying solely on escorts. Compared to NATO aircraft, the Z-20T is more versatile but sacrifices specialization. The US typically separates troop transport and attack helicopter roles. Z-8L Heavy Transport Helicopter. This was the first major public showing of the Z-8L, China's largest helicopter to date. Its NATO counterpart would be the AW-101 Merlin or the CH-53C Stallion. A fun fact is that the Z-8L has a widened fuselage, giving it a 14 to 15 ton capacity, making it suitable for amphibious operations and large troop deployments. Another interesting detail is that it's derived from the French SA-321 Super Frelon, which China licensed produced decades ago. Compared to NATO heavy lifters, it lags behind the CH-53 in capacity, but is closer to the AW-101 in performance, representing a leap in Chinese amphibious lift capability. Type 99 tank. The Type E-99 was not new to this parade, but the B-sub variant shown here emphasized ongoing modernization. Its NATO counterparts would be the M1A2, Abrams and Leopard 2A7, which filled the role of advanced heavy main battle tanks. A notable detail is that the Type 99 can fire both standard shells and gun-launched anti-tank guided missiles, something Western MBTs generally do not feature. Another fact is that it remains one of China's heaviest tanks at around 55 tons, but still lighter than Western heavyweights. Against NATO tanks, the Type 99 is less protected and less powerful in raw armor and engine output, but its advanced fire control and missile capability make it dangerous in long-range duels. It is China's most elite tank, fielded in smaller numbers for spearhead units. Type 100 tank. The Type 100 made its public debut at this parade, marking the introduction of an entirely new tank class for China. There is no direct Western NATO equivalent, but the idea of an unmanned turret tank has been explored in prototypes like Russia's T-14 Armada and concept studies in NATO. A key fact is that the Type 100 uses an unmanned turret with a 105mm gun and places its crew in a heavily armored hull capsule, prioritizing crew survivability. Another fun detail is its heavy integration of digital sensors and networking systems, making it one of the most electronics-heavy tanks China has ever shown. Compared to NATO's Abrams or Leopard 2, the Type 100 is lighter and has less firepower, but its advanced automation represents a forward-looking design philosophy. It shows China is willing to experiment with novel layouts to increase survivability and digital integration. New Infantry Fighting Vehicle, IFV. This new IFV also appeared for the first time at this parade and appears to share the Type 100's platform. NATO equivalents would be the Puma IFV from Germany or the M2 Bradley from the US, both designed for heavily armed troop transport. A unique feature is that this Chinese IFV may lack integrated anti-tank guided missiles, which is unusual for a heavy modern IFV. Another fact is that it is heavily sensor equipped, suggesting a focus on situational awareness and integration into a digital battlefield. Against NATO counterparts, it is among the heaviest IFVs, offering strong protection, but it may be less versatile in anti-armor roles without ATGMs. Its design suggests that China intends to field it alongside other anti-armor units rather than making it an all-in-one vehicle. ZTL-11 Assault Gun Vehicle. The ZTL-11 was not new to the public, but its showing at the parade highlighted its role in wheeled brigades. NATO has close equivalents in the Striker MGS, or Italy's Centauro B1, both wheeled vehicles carrying large caliber guns for fire support. A fun fact is that the ZTL-11 is fully amphibious, capable of swimming across rivers and coastal waters without additional equipment. Another point is that its 105mm gun gives it the ability to act as a lightweight tank substitute, providing direct fire support against fortifications and lighter vehicles. Compared to NATO equivalents, the ZTL-11 is less armored but more mobile, designed for fast strike brigades where speed and amphibious capability are prioritized. Its existence underlines China's doctrine of mobility and flexibility, especially for operations in southern and coastal regions. The ZBL-08. The ZBL was not new, but this parade showed upgraded versions with enhanced flotation devices. NATO equivalents include the tracked AAV-7 amphibious assault vehicle used by the U.S. Marines, though the ZBL-08 is wheeled. A fun fact is that the ZBL-08 is one of China's most mass-produced fighting vehicles, forming the backbone of its mechanized infantry brigades. Another interesting note is that it has been used in large-scale beach landing exercises, indicating its role in potential amphibious operations such as Taiwan. Compared to NATO amphibious vehicles, the ZBL-08 has lighter armor but greater speed on land due to its wheeled configuration. It reflects China's emphasis on amphibious warfare capability across a wide range of units. PLL-09, 122mm howitzer. The PLL-09 was already known, but this parade reinforced its place in wheeled artillery brigades. Its NATO counterparts would include lighter systems like the French Caesar or US M777 with mobility kits, though those are not amphibious. A fun fact is that, like the ZBL-08, it is fully amphibious, allowing China's artillery to cross water obstacles and support amphibious troops without engineering bridges. Another point is that it offers a balance of indirect fire support and mobility, ideal for China's wheeled strike brigades. Compared to NATO howitzers, it is less powerful than heavy systems like the German PZH-2000, but its amphibious mobility gives it a unique edge in coastal operations. It highlights China's doctrine of highly mobile firepower. PHL-191, Multiple Rocket Launcher. The PHL-191 was not new to the public, but this parade highlighted its heaviest loadouts and the expanding mission set it gives to Army rocket forces. Its closest NATO analogs are the M142 HIMARS and the tracked M270, especially when paired with long-range munitions like ATACMS and the upcoming PRSM. A notable detail is that the PHL-191 can swap pods between precision 370mm rockets and very large ballistic missiles up to roughly 750mm, offering unusual flexibility for a single launcher. Another interesting point is that this modularity lets the Army assume short-range ballistic strike roles that elsewhere are often held by dedicated missile forces. Versus Western counterparts, HIMARS leads in battle-proven networking and coalition integration, but PHL-191's pod options and sheer missile size give it a longer